Alright, Batman Arkham Origins. Today I'm giving you my review on the game. I don't have a lot to say in this intro today, so yeah, I'm gonna skip the formalities. Let's start this. So, in this Batman Arkham Origins, the story happens before Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City. Basically, a bounty has been placed on Batman by Black Mask. He hired 8 assassins to kill Batman, and your job as Batman is gonna be, to stop Black Mask and the 8 assassins that are trying to kill you. The Joker is also in the game, and you will also have to stop him in that same night. Because if you didn't know, in every Batman Arkham games so far, everything is happening in one night, which is pretty impressive. Now, the story overall is very simple, very straightforward. You are the hero, you stop the villains. That's it. There are not gonna be some parts that are going to blow your mind or something. It's very simple. No tweaks. There are some scenes that are very cliche. I would say that the most interesting part in this story was when the Joker realizes that Batman is going to be one of his main opponents. That part was the most interesting. Not saying that everything else was crap, but it wasn't as good, as amazing as, for example, Batman Arkham City. So the story overall is okay. Yeah, the story is okay. Now let's talk about the gameplay. The gameplay in Batman Arkham Origins can be divided into 3 parts. The first system is the combat system. It's basically a copy paste of what we already seen in Batman Arkham Asylum or Arkham City, which is a good thing because the fighting system was already good, and it is the same thing, same combos, same buttons. You can attack with square, of course. Right now I'm talking about the PC version. You can counter enemies with triangle. You can stunt enemies with circle, and you can evade by double tapping on X. Of course, you have different weapons that you can use and special combos that you will be able to do after a certain amount of hits on enemies. Now, the system itself is extremely good, nothing to complain about. But in Arkham Origins, there is a big problem: the camera. The camera in this game is horrible, especially when you play the campaign. Man, sometimes the camera will just, when you are fighting a lot of enemies in the same area, the camera will show you an area of the fight where you have few enemies, and everybody else, the good amount of enemies will be behind you. And the problem is, even if you have the assist option on the camera, it's not gonna help you. So you have to move the camera manually, which wasn't always the case in Batman Arkham Asylum or Arkham City, because in those 2 games the camera was really good, nothing to complain about. But in Arkham Origins, it's not the case anymore. The second system are the stealth phases, or predator phases, just like it's called in the game. You will be able to take down enemies in some rooms without being seen, in silent. These phases are really fun, really good. Again, this is a copy paste of what you've already seen in previous Batman Arkham games, and yeah, it's really fun. Even if sometimes the AI is just blind, they don't see you at all unless you just come right in front of them. They won't see you. But overall, these stealth phases are very interesting, especially when you play the challenge mode. It's really fun. The third system comes when you have to solve crime scenes. Just like in Batman Arkham City, you have to find evidences. Well, a little bit. Actually, in Batman Arkham Origins is easier because you just have to follow the red triangles to scan evidences and to reconstruct the crime scenes. And then from that point, you will be able to rewind to solve the crime. Uh, it's actually really easy because you just have to follow. And well, I would have loved to see something, something different where we can actually think something more elaborate. But it's still okay. I mean, it's just a small part of the gameplay. But yeah, it's okay. Visually, Batman Arkham Origins is at the same level, I would say, well, a little bit above Batman Arkham Asylum and a little bit uh, behind Batman Arkham City. But the game is visually decent. Some good textures here, especially when, for example, when you get into the boat of the Penguin, the final offer, you have some really good lightings, some really detailed textures. It's really good. But outside in Gotham City overall, you'll see that sometimes there are not a lot of details here and there. But overall, it's okay. Now the animations are not that great, especially when you look at the cutscenes. Sometimes the animation are not that good. You have some frame drops when the game is saving. But yeah, overall is decent. Graphics are decent. Concerning the audio, voice acting, soundtracks, the soundtracks was good. Nothing that I really can complain about. During the fighting, it was good. Now, the voice acting, however, wasn't that great. They changed the voice actor for the Joker, and this one, comparing it to the last one, is not the same thing. Like the previous Joker was just epic. His voice, either it was in English or in French, because I played the game in both languages. Uh, it was really awesome. But in this game, it's not that great. Same thing for most of the eight assassins, including the Black Mask. The voice acting wasn't that convincing. They didn't really convince me. Maybe Deathstroke, but everybody else, they really didn't convince me. For Enigma, they didn't change Enigma, they didn't change the Penguin, so it was okay for me. Also, they tried to copy the funny dialogues. When you explore the city, you can hear what enemies are saying. They tried to copy that, but it didn't really work because it wasn't as funny as what it was in Batman Arkham City. But it was still funny sometimes. But overall, the voice acting didn't really convince me. The soundtrack was good, so yeah, 50-50 on this one.
You can't get everyone, right? Just chalk it up to the cost of doing business.
That sounds like giving up.
No, it's just being practical.
I'm going to end this single player part by talking about the different problems, technical problems that I encounter in this Batman Arkham Origins. I beat the game 5 times, and each time I had different problems. Sometimes the game will froze, sometimes I had enemies that won't move, sometimes I had this. And I didn't touch anything when editing. This is actually what happens. So there are a lot of technical problems in this Batman Arkham Origins. A lot of bugs, and it wasn't good at all. Now let's talk about the multiplayer.
This is a Venom production facility. We must own it, every drop. If you encounter opposition, respond with lethal force. Batman and Robin will try to stop you. Don't let them. Or else.
In this multiplayer, it is a 3 versus 3 versus 2. You have the Batman team, the Joker team, and then you have the Bane team. The Joker team and the Bane team are competing to get the control of the map, by capturing points. And the job of Batman and Robin is to intimidate both teams by taking them out and filling up their intimidation bar. In this multiplayer, there is only one mode with 4 maps so far, but I have to say it's a really fun multiplayer, extremely fun. We are used to 2 teams only, but here is 3 teams, and it makes a lot of difference. It's not like an Uncharted where you can one man on team and win. Well, you can't do that, but in this multiplayer you really have to play with your team, because if you don't, you are going to lose, definitely. So the multiplayer is extremely fun. Of course, there's a leveling system for your weapons. You can customize the appearances of both teams, the Joker and the Bane team. You can change the outfit of Batman and Robin. It's really fun. But in all of this, there is a big problem. Remember, technical problems in the single player, it was just a little bit. In the multiplayer, it's multiplied by 100. To find a match on this game, you have to be lucky. Some days, you'll find a match without any problems, and some days to find the players is just hell. You can't find players sometimes. It's crazy, because last time I remember a friend of mine wanted to play with me. I said, okay, I went on Batman and started searching for a match, but guess what? Didn't find players. And on top of that, the game froze 3 times on the row. So I restarted my PS3 3 times. I restarted I launched the game, the multiplayer mode, and it froze again 3 times. Something else. There are online trophies, and I got the platinum for Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City. So I wanted to get platinum on this game. I already have all the trophies for the single player, and now I can't get the trophies for the multiplayer because I can't play the multiplayer when I want it. So it's really a really huge problem for this game. It hurts the game a lot. Like I said, the multiplayer is fun, but the technical problems ruin it. It's just horrible. I will finish by saying that Batman Arkham Origins is a good game, but it's not the best Batman. It is definitely the worst, I would say, because if I had to place it on top 3, I would say Batman Arkham Origins is 3rd, and then you have Arkham Asylum 2nd, and then the best, Arkham City. In Arkham Origins, you have a decent story, decent graphics, audio, the gameplay is good, but the multiplayer, you had way too many technical problems. Even in the single player, you had them, but not that much. And what really hurts the game is definitely the multiplayer and all these technical problems. So yeah, that's why I give this Batman Arkham Origins a score of 16.5 over 20. So that's my review on this. Thanks for watching, and yeah, God bless you. See you on my next video.
I'm ready for a fight! Get me out of this! Hey! Hey! Off of me! Is it getting us out of this? Rip them apart! It's sticky!